Okay, as I promised at the end of my last video, I would switch to something else and see if we can't make some headway on another radio. And unfortunately, this one's going to probably be even more frustrating. This is a really nice Sony radio. In fact, this is a bit of a classic one. This was the first portable, it's still fairly large, isn't it? But first small, portable, powerful shortwave or multiband radio, as they like to call them, made with a keypad to punch in your numbers. This is the first one. This is the baby, and apparently this is a really good working radio too. So my guess is it's jam-packed with radio stuff inside this box, and good luck on me changing or fixing anything. But here's the complaint. The complaint is that it doesn't work at all, but it worked briefly. Oh, worked briefly? Okay, that's a positive sign. If something simple, some kind of simple intermittent connection. Now, the most likely place, of course, is where you plug in the external power supply. You know, other likely places are where headphones go and stuff like that. So I have an external supply. I'm going to plug it in here and just double check the setting on it. This is one of those variable supplies. You really need to get a voltmeter out and check the actual voltage coming out of these things. And they have terrible regulation, which means when you put a load on them, the output voltage will drop a long ways. Sometimes it's a little hard to be sure you've got the voltage you really want. So, wait, let's not plug it in. Let's just look in the back here. Batteries, I actually put those batteries in myself. I know they are brand new. And over here, these are two AA batteries that operate the computer, keep the clock running and the like. So it's got batteries in it. It should work, eh? So we'll turn it on. Hear nothing, I see nothing. Now where's the volume? DX. And volume. Well, volume's right here. Nice and handy for your thumb. But I see nothing on the screen here, and there's no sound coming out. It's got a light button here. A little light comes on. I'd almost want the light to not come on. It's got a sleep button. But I would think the clock should be showing in this window really all the time, even when the radio's switched off. Oh! Did you hear that? Oh! There is a little bit of power getting through. Well, that's an even poorer sign. I'd rather have it not working at all, and hopefully it's just a power supply problem, than partially working. How do you change bands on here? What about a button that's stuck down or something stupid like that? Of course, the screen would still work. They all feel pretty normal. Let's try it on the power supply. Oh, I got a little symbol on the window there. What is that? Look at that. little piece there. Can you see that? Turn it off. Oh, it's off right now and that's on there. That's interesting. Let me turn it on. Disappeared. Turn it off. Ooh. This is getting more interesting, isn't it? Let's try a few other buttons here. It's switched off. You know, that looks to me like the clock trying to work or something like that. Okay, so it's not reacting to anything else. That's not too surprising because the switch is off right now. Okay, so let's pull the power out. Okay. Let's turn it on. Hey, that stayed that time. Definitely, I mean, you can really hear the speaker going now because I have the microphone right above the speaker, so. That, you know what that looks like to me? Low voltage. Maybe that's low voltage being supplied. Hey, if that's an L. It's an L, it's the wrong way. So, you know, maybe there is some kind of power supply failure in here that I can find. Any other buttons to push? No, I see nothing changing anymore. There's the light. That little symbol's getting very, very hard to see now. Or is that actually part of the part of a number coming through on a partially working set? Where'd it go? It just went away, didn't it? Completely. I want it to come back. It won't come back. What's that in the bottom right corner? Is that something in there? It's like a little dot. What's that dot? What is that? I'm in the complete dark now. Oh, a reflection of the... That bright thing you see is the double, triple, Just a second here. Well, I think there's some camera pixels that are stuck on. I don't know what to make of it. It's so there's a little LED at the front of my camera which casts out a tiny amount of light. It's enough under low light circumstances to cause things like that big blue thing you just saw in the dark. And it looks like there's a couple pixels that are stuck on my camera. Yeah, isn't that interesting? I cover the lens with my hand and the camera cranks up its sensitivity and up come 2 pixels that are lit up. That's an amazingly sensitive camera. Amazing thing. This thing practically shoot in no light at all. Okay, back to the radio. Well, the interesting little thing is gone. Never to return, perhaps. So that was interesting. It was mentioned that it had worked momentarily, and another thing that could have been was a momentary charging up of something, and then it slowly discharged away. I don't know, I'm just making that up. Hey, let's take this thing apart. It's not working the way it is. And my philosophy is, if it's not working, it deserves to be in pieces. Oh, you know, I really am always anxious about working on stuff like this. The reason is there's, everything is so microscopic. I'm looking for screws buried down inside there. Don't think there are any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 5. 5 screws, and then we're popping the lid open. Okay. Let's try it out. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work. That's already where it is. Okay, screws are loose, come on. Yeah. Oh. Doing this with no manual. Coming up. It's like a lot of radios coming with it, though. Not releasing at the bottom. See what look like pry marks. Let's make all the screws come out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stayed in. The one thing about a small radio, you can kind of flip it around all you like. Okay, that last screw. There it is. So I did that to make sure the screws are not interfering in any way with pulling it apart. Oh, one more screw. Now I didn't want to take those batteries out right away because they'll, without them in, the radio's computer will come to a stop. What does it matter? I think it's come to a stop anyway, so what does it matter? Okay, now we got them all out, I think. It's pretty snug down there. Alright, let's see if it started working yet. I think these have to be in. It's a good idea to keep an eye on it while you're doing this stuff because it's an intermittent problem. I got the volume turned right up. Radio's on AM. If it decides to work, it's going to make a lot of noise. Well, I'm not doing so well here, taking this apart. I'm not surprised. It doesn't want to separate at the bottom. There appears to be a pile of stuff bolted, if you like, to the top. Pile of stuff coming out with the bottom. You know, those stuffs must be wired together, so I gotta kind of wonder, when you separate this out, what happens inside? Maybe that's what happened to it. Maybe somebody did just what I'm doing and mucked it up. Let's see what we can see in here. Got a couple screws that are in the way over here. A couple of antenna connections, antenna connector screws, but I doubt they'll come all the way out of the radio. These are usually captured screws, you know. Can't take them all the way out. These ones here. Yeah, see, they're captured. But they seem to be interfering with getting this part of the radio out. There's a couple of suspicious things right there. These things. No. Those are probably clips. I wouldn't know how to work them. let's see, if this were to snap in, clips would pop in. I don't feel any springiness in there at all. Will he get it out? You know, these screws are really messing things up here. These screws here. They really are stopping it from coming out. So, captured or not, I'm going to have to back them out of there. Hopefully when the time comes, those can go right back in. These are interfering too. No, they're not. Gets us a little closer to disaster, doesn't it? I gotta get this bottom to come out. What am I missing? Unfortunately, some of these you just have to keep applying, pressure, and they eventually pop apart, and that's just the scariest thing going. Coming. It's coming. It's coming out. Now, very careful, because I know there's got to be all kinds of junk in here that... Okay. Well, we got it open. Huh. How do you like that, eh? Yes, and there are lots of... It's one main wire here. I think I read somewhere that it breaks. And oh, there's a piece that's dropped out. What is it? It's just a slide cover for one of the switches. Okay, so now we have this thing open. Wow, looks like you can do this with it. Ew, boy. Okay, that's pretty good, actually, for getting in there and looking around. It's not as jammed as I thought. Well, let's plug it in and give it a go here. Switch on. No light. Okay, now we're not seeing any light coming on. Why is that? Because we broke the radio completely. Ooh, what was that? Did you hear that? That's the sound of rolling over a bunch of screws. That's what that. That's what that is. There is actually a buzz coming out of that speaker. Oh, and here's where that slide fell out. Fell out of the volume control. My meter's acting as if everything has an AC voltage on it. Why would that be? Would it be something to do with my meter? Let's try this one. There you go. 20 volts AC is what the scale is set to now. I'll show you what I've been getting here. Let's see. Now I can't see my own meter. .7. Maybe it's something to do with that meter. I don't know. Look, I'm on the DC. We were looking for around 5 volts. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. I'm not getting any voltage anywhere here. I'm just looking for the supply voltage to appear anywhere in here. Or any kind of voltage to appear. How about that light? Does the light work? No light. I did read something about a flat, one of these flat wires giving up the ghost here. No light at all. Find that a little odd, why the light wouldn't work now. Now let's put some batteries back in it. Gosh, it's working. Okay. Ah! Yeah. Okay, oh, it got knocked off. The switch got knocked off. Come on back. Come on back. Well, see, that's why I don't like to do things off camera, because stuff like this happens off camera once in a while. So that's why I do virtually everything on camera now. What happened when I had this tipped up quite a ways, like this. You know what? Wasn't it after I put this in? Hey, maybe there's a problem with the just with these batteries. It's a lot of wires coming out of a spot that just has a couple batteries in it. It's off again. So, you know what? If I pull the lid forward, it turns it off on me. So I gotta watch out for that. Okay, so maybe it was off again when I redid the computer batteries. Let's try that again. They were out for quite a while. Or was it? Did it just fall out and I put it right back in? Well, see? I got it working and then I moved too much. And I have no idea what it was that changed, that made it stop working again. Let's pop out the computer battery for a minute or two. It says in the instructions when you take the computer batteries out to wait at least 1 minute before putting them back in. So we'll do that. We'll give it a minute here. What should I talk about for a minute? I don't know. But now we know this thing can be made to work again if we can just narrow down exactly what it is. That's it could be as simple as a bad switch, a bad contact somewhere. A minute's a long time when you gotta wait for it. What is this switch for? FM, AM, and CW. So I'm gonna leave it in the AM position. Switch is on. Time to drop in a battery. Now last time I put that battery in and it came right to life. It came right to life. Another possibility is it's an intermittent problem. Well, clearly it's an intermittent problem, but if you temporarily correct the problem, you got to give the radio time to come on. And it could be that I've wiggled the right wire, but I just haven't given it time to come on. If it is a wire that needs wiggling. let's repeat the whole battery process here, because okay, I was putting these batteries in, and I think maybe one of these has fallen out already. Okay. So let's give it a minute again. And what can we talk? We talk about the mayor in Toronto. Things just keep getting crazier. People are just sick of it. Kind of want them to go away. I think that's really just kind of how people feel now. Go away. Okay, so I put these batteries in, the power batteries. And I then believe I put this one in, and the radio came right to life. I'm not so lucky this time. Now why would the light not work? Surely to goodness when the radio was working, the light was probably working too. So light not working now might tell me the radio's in a real dead state, but no, I can hear hiss coming out of the speaker. Boy, this will drive me nuts. This kind of thing. Okay, let's think about this. Now, I put the batteries in. You know, I'm looking, well, where can I check to see where this battery voltage is showing up? Maybe it's just faulty wire in here or something like that. And I can't even see where you would be able to find this voltage. Let me put the meter where you can see it here. So we want to try to find the battery voltage, 3 volts. And we guess it's on this cable here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires, all of them labeled. And they go up onto the board up here, they get hidden under this other wire, and there's no copper exposed anywhere, anyway. I'm not even sure these are carrying the power. The actual battery is down here below that, so you know that ribbon has nothing to do with it. Okay, I see something coming out here. Now, if there's some problem and the 3 volts is not making it into the radio, I'm never going to find it no matter how much I poke around, but I'll not realize it while I'm poking around, that I'm proving something doesn't exist. That's a tricky job. Proving something doesn't exist. Oh, I almost wish it hadn't worked, because now, like I said, I'm going to be driven nuts by this situation. What more can we take apart here? What was I flexing or pushing on when I was putting the batteries in? Okay, let's do some stupid tests first here. Is there really battery voltage? 4.5. Battery voltage appears to be running the radio to some degree. I would say the problem is in the computer section. That's where I will lay the blame. So we'll say, okay, the computer section is not working. Now, these batteries, which are called the computer batteries, I'm willing to bet that these are an entirely separate power supply. They're not a backup supply. They are entirely separate for the computer circuits. So this is driving the amplifier and probably the rest of the radio, and these two are driving the computer component here, wherever that is. So I think it's quite notable that the radio appears to be working to some degree. There's a hiss coming out of the speaker, yet these batteries, as I put them in, that cause the radio to come to life. So what about just a bad connection in the battery here, in the battery housing? What about that? A simple possibility. Well, we'll look for voltage on the lines that are leading away from the battery case. So there it is. 3. How come I didn't get it at first? Oh, there it is. Okay, so the battery voltage is making it out of the battery case. That's for sure. I'm hoping it's going to come back to life here while I'm doing this. Yeah, you see, it's a good thing we got away from that other frustrating radio and go look at this one. Okay, so I know the battery voltage, it's coming out at this end here. I can't see clearly, but there's at least one contact. It comes out, kind of disappears on this board, going somewhere, who knows where. Who knows where? Oh man, it's so annoying, isn't it? To hear it work and then not again. Well, I think it's time to do something else. Completely different for a while I ponder my options with this radio here. And maybe a little research. Maybe there's other radios with exactly the same kind of problem. I did a little of that already on the internet, but all I found out was often the power receptacle breaks off the board. I mean, I don't really have to even be told that. But this one seems pretty secure. So that's it. Another stumper. Another stumper. See you later.